Okay. Can we call this meeting to order at 6:07?
We can.
And just maybe do a roll call. Tom Divney.
Which I guess. Jessica Call, town planner. Norma Dietrich, building inspector.
Keith Bonifay.
Doug Brown.
Mark Yang.
Tom Hoops. Okay.
Yep.
Say it
Did you pick that up? Oh,
Right.
Dick Shea, Select Board Representative Alternate.
Okay, I make a motion that we call this meeting to order. Looking at the agenda. Changes.
Nope.
Make a motion, we approve the October 9th, 2024 ZAC Committee meeting agenda.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, then we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business? No new business. One item down. Then moves us into old business, and I guess the first item up is section 320 as far as non-conforming uses, structures and lots, and Tara has made another set of changes with Jessica, and maybe we can start by walking through that document.
Sure, and I can't hear real well, but so I might need some help, but, there weren't many changes between meetings. Actually, was only one minor wording change in section 320, what would now be C repairs. It had said existing building regulations and now says the New Hampshire State Building Code. Other than that, the change between meetings was to add two other possible amendments. And one is on the first page that would remove the opportunity to get a special exception to expand the nonconformance, expand the footprint or expand up or down in a setback. So that's an amendment I would suggest go in front of usually we start out with housekeeping amendments, but I'm suggesting that amendment would go first because it's the only way that some comments in the next one would make any sense to somebody actually reading the amendments, where we refer back and say, well, here are some changes we'd make if that other amendment didn't pass. So we're doing some housekeeping to these two paragraphs in case this first amendment doesn't pass and they stay in there. Does that make sense?
So maybe just so I understand it, so you're saying that First Amendment XXX would precede the section 320?
Yeah, I provided them to you in the order. I'd suggest that they appear on the warrant.
Any thoughts or comments about that?
So I just have one comment, if I may, Mr. Chair. There's maybe a potential conflict, and I did want to talk to Tara in proposed amendment number 2. In the second part, it's proposing to change some language in section H in the non-conforming section, which is the one that you're suggesting to remove. And I'm just not sure how to word it.
Here for you,
Yeah.
where I said if amendment number, whatever it turned out to be, does not pass, removing expansion of footprint, then that section would read as follows. And if amendment blah, blah, blah does not pass, removing expansion of building beyond existing elevations, that section would read as follows. When we're doing something like that, we want to be clear which one has precedence over the other.
Right, okay.
So that this is language you want to put right in the amendment. same as, when you get toward, and I'm looking at the next last page in the marked up one, there's a paragraph at the bottom that's gonna have a phrase. If those aren't removed, then it needs to say except as provided in paragraphs 2 and 3 above. So I've built the contingencies right in there.
Okay.
Jessica, just to be clear, so when you were referring to H, that's the old H, which is now the new E? Is that what we're talking about?
What is this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's the committee is recommending taking those out, but if they stay in, we want to make sure they get corrected and cleaned up.
And just another question from my side. Will town council need to approve this amendment before we can vote on it?
yes,
Yeah.
like all of them.
All of them?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as we, as soon as all this language is drafted, then it all goes to town council to review, and then we meet again and you guys review his comments, and then you move everything forward to the planning board at
Approve it
that point. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
So is there any chance that you'll have his comments in time for the April 21st meeting? Is he kind of on deck to look at these?
Yeah, I'm hoping, so I think we're gonna have to schedule another meeting between October 21st and November 19th in order to do that, in order for the committee to review comments back from town council.
So that presumes that town council will be able to review this before the 21st of October, right?
No, it would be after, so,
Oh, so you want to have the final language here for
Right.
review on the 21st?
right, so on the 21st, because this third draft,
Right?
I still have to work on a couple of the amendments at the very end.
Okay.
There's still some work that I have to do to this. I
Okay.
just, time crunch.
So when do we put it before the planning board?
So that's gonna be on a meeting date that you guys haven't set yet. So it would be between the 21st of October and the 19th of November. We're gonna have plug in another meeting between that.
Yeah.
And we have a whole month.
That's not going to be I don't think that's the problem.
Right.
I think the bigger issue is having everything ready for October 21st. Okay, so just coming back to section 320, is there any other input or comments with respect to what Tara had marked up with Jessica?
I don't know if I can participate.
For repairs, should we add current? The current New Hampshire State Building Code? I did see that in another section that they use current.
And where are you at? I'm sorry.
Section, well,
The new section C under repairs.
Yep.
Just add the current New Hampshire State Code.
The word current.
Yes.
Good catch. I really like how you've separated things out. I mean, I can understand it better. There was a time that I would just have people go talk to the code official because he was so much more involved, with having to apply this. It was just it was very confusing for me.
It has been very
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah. So I'm very excited that you're on board to help the town clarify this a lot better.
So are we?
Can I ask a couple of questions regarding 320?
Okay. Sorry.
Even, I don't have any formal standing at this time unless Nick leaves.
Timing out. Go ahead. Yeah.
Hey,
Under B, where we talk about
change it.
reconstruction and replacement complies with all current life safety and building codes.
It's talking about section B. Excuse me, Mr. Shea,
Yeah.
are you speaking into the microphone? I'm just
Uh,
not sure if it's our volume or.
Probably not. Is that better?
that's better.
He needs
Yeah, okay.
Okay, this is a test, Tara. How's it sound?
Talking about B, so let's hear what he has to say, because that's as far as we got.
Yeah, under B, we're referred to replacement complying with all current life safety and building codes. And it goes on to say through adequate separations and or building materials. Is that something specific or wouldn't that automatically be covered in the codes?
I didn't like that ending there either. I didn't think it really.
Sorry, I didn't. But I'm guessing, I'm wondering if we could just take the end of B and make it also the current New Hampshire State Building Code.
Right. If we keep it consistent, it would be better than,
Cause I noticed that later, but I didn't make that change
Yeah.
cause it didn't come from the committee, so.
Okay.
Reconstruction or replacement complies with the current New Hampshire State Building Code. Right,
Sounds good.
And if this is happens to be a place of gathering, does the building code cover what the life safety code would normally cover for emergency exits and all that kind of stuff? I don't know.
Is that a question for Norma?
that's a known
Anybody
question.
that knows the answer, because I don't.
Are usually grouped together in regulations like this. In a residential setting, they are all one of the same. In a commercial setting, usually the fire department and fire chief have to inspect the building for fire safety. Camp Brookwoods had a commercial building, so the fire department went out and did their inspection in addition to mine. So that's your answer.
And then under D, non-conforming uses. I asked this last meeting, but I'm not sure I understood the answer. Maybe I didn't get one. It talks about the owner having to show proven intent. And I'm not sure what constitutes proven intent. Do they have to submit a letter or just tell somebody they intend to do it, or how do you know that somebody intends?
So today we're talking about section D, number 1, abandonment. It's that last sentence that talks about, proven intent.
Yep.
And so his question is, what is it that they would have to prove? What would they provide? I guess is that
Yeah,
the question?
common language. And I think, that does end up on the code enforcement officer, and then if it's questioned, then it's an appeal to the ZBA of an administrative decision. And that's how that gets sorted out. Because it could be that there was, a break in the supply chain, or somebody with cancer, or, that there could be a good reason. So I think that's really at the discretion of the code enforcement officer. And again, if the owner disagrees, then they can appeal the administrative decision to the ZBA. But you're trying to not take the business out from under somebody who was intending to get it going again.
I think it's hard to track when something has been abandoned. When is your start point? How do you verify the start point? to
Exactly.
do your 18 months and then prove that they have made some intent to make a change. Lots of times the use that I find is on our tax card, and it's really not always what I would like to find. So it's a gray area to start with.
It is, but it's a pretty standard part of the zoning.
Yeah, I've seen it.
18, it might be 12, it might be 24, but
Yeah.
And I guess I'd ask the question, what's the meaning of discontinued? Is there,
Can I give you an example?
I understand, but what if it's a residence?
We had several incidences in the past where a series of motels had not opened for a certain length of time. And the measure that was used was whether or not they had applied for a building permit to renovate and or to restore them. In another case, there was a fire. And it was dated from when the fire was. And then the person came in close to the 2-year period, which it used to be, and put in an application to redo. But those are the only two examples that I can think of that I know of.
So I think it's clear in the case of a commercial enterprise, but you know, if it's a residency, which is also applicable to,
Yep.
it's a little more it's a little more unambiguous in that context, huh? Is it always commercial? Yeah, if that's the
Mostly.
case, then
can't remember the name of the one that's just with the boatyard and whatnot. I think that only allows seasonal cottages, but other than that, everything else in town, it's only gonna be a business.
all right, well, if that's the case, then it's clear.
Yeah, we're probably good then.
That was an agreement from two people. You didn't hear
Yep.
that.
Okay, any other discussion on that point? Any change to the language that needed? No. Any other?
I think we're muddling over that at the moment.
Question for clarification. So several of these changes refer to residences, but because our zoning allows residents in each zone, that's why it's okay? Is that what she just said? Yes.
Chair.
No.
We're gonna get you again. Do we need to repeat that for Tara? No?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
All right, Mark. you're gonna
Stand
try
by,
it
we're working
again.
on it.
Thanks. Yeah, so all I was asking was just for clarification, because if you look through the changes, a lot of them do refer to residences. One of them refers to taking a deck, I think it says, and turning it into living space. But you're saying because all of the zones in town allow residential properties, that this is all a non-issue for us. Does
that sound right? It's the lake, is it the, let's see. The, recreation service zone?
The only residences there are the ones that would predate the,
Well, it allows a home business.
But it doesn't allow.
Yeah. No. So if it already exists, I guess you can have a home business. It makes no sense.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I hear you.
residential uses, so.
My second question, just for clarification, and then I think I'm done. Is it, this talks about non-conforming lots and the ability to basically build a house on a non-conforming lot. Even this, so item, what used to be K, which is now F, will be Third Amendment, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll wait, thanks.
Yes, sorry.
So why don't we talk about the Third Amendment then? Tara, do you want to go through that?
Sorry, the sound is just awful, that system. Can you just tell me can you just translate?
Yes, so if you want to move on to amendment number 3.
Yeah, so when we got talking about non-conforming lots, the conversation went to, well, there are other things that should be considered, like the steep and wet. So, but that's potentially taking somebody's rights away that they have right now for non-conforming lots. So my recommendation was to put that in a separate amendment. And so I think what we're talking about is if it's non-conforming due to inadequate frontage or lot size, but it meets all the other applicable requirements of the ordinance. That's what I think I heard you say.
Yeah, can I make some comments on that?
Please.
Can I share some background? Just so that you're.
Mhm.
Okay, so. So this is an example of, a lot line adjustment. They want to come in for a lot line adjustment and their frontage is, under the required minimum. So we send them to the zoning board to get a variance for their frontage. This right here looks like it probably does away with the fact that they would have to go to zoning first. So with that said, I know that I've had conversations with town council, this was last year, and we've actually talked about it the year before. Been a couple of years now, we've tried to massage some of this language, and I know ZAC was not interested in it last year based upon the fact that town council felt that it was the responsibility of the zoning board to make that decision.
Boy, I don't agree with that one. You don't.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And town council last year or the year before was more on the side of it should be still up to the zoning board to make that determination.
Jessica, am I recalling correctly, but the last time we met, didn't somebody mention that this was more of a mandate that we couldn't screw around with? The non-conforming lot one? That's not the case? It was like the state or somebody mandated that you have to allow people to build houses if they own them.
That's not what this is saying, I don't think.
That's not,
No,
okay,
that's
sorry. All right,
We going down a road that town council is going to disagree again?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So potentially, or so what's the sentiment about, whether this language should be in here? And if so, then it'll have to go to the council for review, right?
If that's what the committee chooses, you could keep it. Or you could just axe it off now. It just depends on what you guys would like to do prior to sending it to town council.
I mean, and you're pretty certain that if he's gonna come back or if the person's gonna rule that, they need to go to zoning board for this to be approved, then, maybe we should kind of anticipate that and reflect that in language here.
So if I just throw in that, I don't think I've heard your town council say that about other zoning ordinances. So, I'd be interested to have some interaction with the town council on this issue. Because that's not something I've ever heard before.
Okay. Yeah, because I know there are other towns that don't require people to have to go to zoning for that
Right.
stuff. They just have it, it's within their regulations that they don't have to.
Yeah, none of the dozen towns I work with need a variance for a non-conforming lot, as long as, and some of them do require that it meets the setbacks.
Could I ask, could I state an example? Can you
And
tell me
then
why I'm wrong? Except the size.
That have been reviewed by, Walter Mitchell and Christine Fillmore Johnson over
Yep.
the years, so.
Yep. Okay, but I mean,
Get a question.
I have a question. If a developer were to come in and had a lot that was 60 acres and decided to split it up into parcels, whatever size they chose, and it all got approved, and those parcels didn't have adequate frontage, but they wanted, say if they broke that 50 acres up into 40 lots, and they didn't meet the 75% buildable and all that sort of stuff.
yeah, that wouldn't apply to this.
Why?
Because you would have to abide by the subdivision regulations to create a subdivision. This is talking about,
You can't,
this is, yeah, this non-conforming thing is because it's something existing.
so you cannot create a new non-conforming.
Right.
I think that takes some, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Tara,
On top of which, this is specific to structures, right?
or any single family house.
That's a lot. So the questions that you have about setbacks, water and septic, that's going to be picked up in a permitting process on a non-conforming lot. If someone comes in and wants to build on it, they'll have to meet those regulations through the permitting process.
If we have
But again,
it just needs to be on a town approved road.
Mhm.
but again, this to be clear, I mean, this third amendment would be specific to structures, not lots, right?
This is only talking about if you have a non-conforming lot, you already have too small in the zoning past, that all you can build without going to the zoning board is a single family residence, and you can build that if it meets everything, if it meets the setbacks and can have a septic and well with the 75-foot protective radius.
But the opening sentence says amendment XXX would make corrections to the definition of non-conforming structure in Article 200. So if it gets into discussion around the lot, then it needs to be broader.
Okay, can I?
It's only a non-conforming structure if it was there before the zoning. It doesn't become one because you put it on a non-conforming lot.
Jessica, you were gonna say?
So I've had a chance to digest this a little better.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna go back. And so now that I've read it and reread it a bunch of times, the comment I made earlier, I don't think that that's what this is saying. I think what this is saying is a slightly different wording from, if you go up a little bit where it says non-conforming lots under former K, which is now F. I think that's what that means. It's telling you that, sure, go ahead and build your home on a lot that may not have proper frontage or lot size. But if you're gonna be within the setback, you have to go to zoning. Does that sound right, Tara?
you would need a variance if you're
Right.
gonna be in the setbacks.
Yep. So I think that this new blue language under Amendment 3 is kind of coming from former K. That's saying, you can have your, non-conforming lot and you can build on it, but if you're gonna go within the setback, you're getting a variance. Okay, all right.
Okay. Is that clear to
So
everybody?
let's keep that then. We want to keep that.
And everyone in accord?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Sorry to confuse you earlier.
We'll look for the markup.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, does that take care of, section 320?
You have a question, comment?
No, I just didn't think we went through it already.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so do we need to go through each line item on it or not?
I think we did that at the last meeting.
Because we're gonna get another run at this anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have another meeting on some stuff, so yes.
Okay. And then that brings us to the third draft of the zoning amendments.
Yep, so
So
do
I will
we wanna,
so- hear from you of which meetings you said call into.
yeah, do we wanna schedule another meeting before you go? And then that
I-
way,
I had October 21st on my calendar. Is that
Yeah.
still?
yep, we're still gonna have that one, but I think we're gonna need one after the 21st and before the 19th of November.
Okay,
So,
I don't think well, could try.
all right, so.
What did you have something in mind?
Um. Let me pull up.
To be before the 7th.
I'm just trying to pull up the town calendar right now, see what the calendar looks like. Did you say you didn't have anything available, Tara?
Yeah, I haven't put everything in my November calendar, but I can
All
try to figure it out on the fly. If you
Yeah.
ever-
So what I'm thinking is, let's keep October 21st. And, that would be a meeting that we would need you, I think. So that way, maybe there might be some more questions on 320.
right.
Yeah, good.
And then from there, the next meeting, if you couldn't attend, I think that would be okay.
Okay, good. But if you let me know when it is in case I can, and it would be helpful.
Yeah, all right,
But
I'll do that.
let's plan everybody, try to get better audio for the
Yes,
21st, and everybody give this another look, and I'll be there to answer. I'll be online to answer any questions.
absolutely. All right. Thank you.
All right,
All right.
have a good rest of your meeting.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, so do we want to put a plan for a date between the 21st of October and the 19th of November? Just move ahead on this thing?
Yep. All right.
Week of November 4th or 11th?
The 4th is a busy day.
Well, that week, I'm saying it.
I'm not here after 11/7.
After 11/7.
Well, on 11/7, Thursday. We might need to sneak into the end of October, depending on everyone's. Something between the 21st and the 31st, maybe.
But it's got to go to town council for review, right?
Yes, but we have to meet on the 21st first. Before
Right.
it goes. So you said end of October?
Through the sixth, November sixth.
Let's see, so if we met on the 21st, so if we met on the 21st, I would have to have time to do the work and pass it off to town council and receive comments back within 4 days. And that's not gonna happen. So we have to look at the week after that, which is into November.
The fourth is a Monday.
That's,
Yep. So the fourth is Monday, the fifth is elections.
election day, yeah.
Before you
And
take
then
it
the
over.
7th is a zoning board meeting, so we wouldn't be able to have this room. So,
The seventh, Thursday
Monday.
the 7th.
yeah, Monday, the 4th.
I can't be.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can't make it either.
I'm not certain. I may have a conflict.
Okay, how about
What about the week of the 11th? Is that?
the 6th?
I'll be gone all week.
6th works for me.
We can pen it in and I just have to see, I'll try to work around it.
Wednesday the sixth.
So the 6th?
It would have to be, because then the planning board meeting is 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
All right.
we literally have, that's like our only day.
So November 6th it is.
Okay.
And
Thank
then
you.
be in the evening.
Yep, 6 o'clock.
I guess I won't sleep before I get on my early flight on the 7th.
You don't have to sleep.
Okay,
All right, so we got that done.
then we'll move back under old business to the third draft. Maybe we'll take these, any changes to amendment number 1 that was in here? There's the blue, I guess, is changes that were made since the last discussion.
See. Yes, so I came up with, a few definitions. Density, in kind and junk. I know we did talk about, this the last couple meetings. So density was, the degree of compactness of an area, the quantity per unit of area.
I just suggest maybe the value per unit of area.
Instead of quantity.
Quantity, exactly. yeah.
Okay. I was trying to come up with something a little better than I did last time, so I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
Okay, are you guys okay with, with that one? All right, so in kind, this comes from the state RSA. I think that's where I got that from. The substitution of a new structure for an existing legal structure, whether in total or in part.
Everyone okay with that?
The word
Is that what in-kind
substitution
means?
is
I thought
weird,
in-kind means similar.
because they're basically, rebuilding.
So you don't like the word, so I'm gonna come up with a different word than substitution?
We can ask the folks in the room. Substitution to me means something temporary.
Well, it is pretty much,
But-
it's substitution.
It's a substitution, yeah. But isn't it supposed to be something similar? That's
Yeah.
what in-kind means?
I have one if you want.
Yep.
To renovate or rebuild a structure basically as it is in the same form and existing footprint.
That
Sounds
sounded
good.
pretty good.
Try it again, please.
To renovate or rebuild a structure basically as it is in the same form and existing footprint.
Do you want to keep whether in total or in part on there?
Yeah, yep, you can add that.
Just an idea.
So
And
at
then
least
what did
they
you-
realize it's something new.
Right.
Right.
Can I see what you? Okay, thank you. The word basically in there? where did I put that? Right there. Rebuild description. So it would be to renovate or rebuild a structure as it is in the same form and existing footprint? I missed basically. Where did that go in?
Basically as is in the same form and existing footprint.
Okay.
I think Norma also mentioned wanting to leave whether in total or in part.
All right, I'll read it one more time.
Gonna say, just go back through it again.
Yep. All right, in kind, to renovate or rebuild a structure basically as it is in the same form and existing footprint, whether in total or in part.
Okay. Right,
I like that one better.
good.
And then, so we come to junk. I tried not to be too descriptive with, this item, that item. So left it pretty basic. Items that are old, discarded, or unused that are considered useless or of little value. And I may have got a little bit of that from the state too.
Everyone okay with that? Okay, and section 2. Accessory dwelling units.
All right, so section 2, I jumped the gun a little bit at the last meeting and had you guys vote.
No, no,
on
sorry,
it.
I'm not talking about amendment 2. There was
Oh,
section,
sorry,
just the definition of the accessory dwelling unit
I'm sorry. I'm jumping the gun again.
and seasonal cabin.
Oh, seasonal cabin, that's new, that in red from the last meeting.
Right,
That was one I had to come up with. This comes directly from the state.
so the 400 square feet is.
That's a
State
state
statute.
description. Yep,
Okay,
yep.
Just, it starts, it's not. It has to be, a seasonal cabin has to be on a campsite,
Yep.
and the word A is still here.
a structure. on
Yeah,
a
so it would
campsite.
be
Structure on
a
campsite.
structure on a
Okay.
campsite. Yep. Yeah, and this is like, just directly. All right,
So seasonal cabins can't be anywhere but on a campsite.
correct. I mean, obviously you have your existing ones, but your new ones can only be in a campground.
Okay.
Okay. Then we come to amendment 2.
Okay, so amendment 2. Like I was saying, if you guys could please rescind the vote that took place at the last meeting to move amendment number 2 to the planning board.
So we need a proposal.
I'll make a motion to rescind the action taken last meeting, for, this, second, amendment.
Second it.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so now we're back to square one again. Good.
Back to 0.
Okay. All right. And the reason why I had this note on here that there may be a potential amendment issue, because H is being recommended to be taken and, completely removed. And I don't think I got my point across when I was talking to Tara, so I will talk to her individually, and I think I don't think I was clear.
Okay.
What was about to be removed?
So in amendment number 2, in part 2, there's H, expansion and non-conforming structure.
Yep.
So that section of the non-conforming ordinance we were just talking about with Tara is one of the sections she's recommending to remove entirely. But we wanted it in here because we wanted to change building envelope to buildable area. So if amendment number 3 doesn't pass, like, we still want to be able to fix that language.
Buildable area is now in our definitions as well, I believe.
Yep, so that's one of our,
So it would be in one or be in both.
It'll at least be
Yeah.
defined if it's
Yeah.
not in this.
so,
ordinance.
yeah, so that, I'm gonna,
So we'll just leave it as an action for you two to come with new
Yeah.
language, basically.
yep, and I'll have a, clearer understanding at the next meeting.
Yep.
And I still need to come up with a rationale. So I'll work on that one.
So get on that.
Section 5. So section 5, I hadn't touched yet. There were a couple things from the last meeting that we were to either provide to you guys, like the HUD standards. And there was some language that I had to update. So that's one of the reasons why we really had to have another meeting. So that way I can get this update to you guys.
So
Um,
is that what this attachment is in reference to then as well?
Yeah, that's the RSA for manufactured housing.
Okay. All right, so is there any discussion then with respect to Amendment 5?
No, not right now. No.
Okay.
And I did not have to do anything to number 6.
6
That
was okay,
okay.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do want to note that I did take out an amendment. And that was that was amendment number 4, and that was the one to where we were talking about potentially changing the height of a building
Right.
in the Lakeshore residential zone. I had crossed that off. We weren't
We're
gonna.
going to address that.
And that's it. So I owe you guys some more work.
Okay, so with respect to the amendments, are there any final inputs people want to make?
I give you a real 10-cent one.
Please.
The, under, the first page, item 1, where they talk about legal fencing, the last line, says that, first 10 feet of the side property lines shall only be 4 feet high. I wonder if we want to put in there not more than or maximum, or otherwise this says it's got to be 4 feet high.
That makes sense.
So maybe shall only be a maximum of 4 feet high?
I think that's the intent, right?
Yes, yeah.
4 feet high shall only be 4 feet high or less without a building permit.
Less than. or
Well,
equal
earlier
to-
in the line, we used the phrase not to exceed. Might want to stick with that.
4 feet or less.
Shall only be 4 feet.
Shall be 4 feet or less.
Yep. Okay. Shall be 4 feet or less high without a building permit.
Okay,
I would
I
probably
think so.
change it to in height for.
I think it covers it.
No mounted glass on the
That-
top of it even.
4 feet. That's the way, literal.
Yeah, I had to deal with a lot of walls with glass.
The wording
embedded in
in
it.
height sounds better than 4 feet or it's high.
Oh, okay. So
Around
shall,
gardens, of course.
shall be 4 feet in height without a building permit. That's what you're saying?
Up to. You could put shall be up to 4 feet in height. Instead of or less.
Or shall be less than 4 feet high?
Okay, yeah.
I
you
think
hash
4
that
feet
in the chat
maximum,
right
if you
now,
want
only
it
10.
1 foot high, you're welcome to.
I think you take out the only B and say not exceed. Accomplish it to
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shall not exceed, that word.
Get rid of the only B.
Feet. In height. Let's stop on that one.
Yep,
We good?
yep. Let me read it again.
Just to make certain.
All right, I'll read the second sentence. Not to exceed 6 feet in the rear or side boundary lines, nor 4 feet in the front boundary line, with the exception that the first 10 feet on the side property lines shall not exceed 4 feet in height without a building permit.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So that means that with a building permit, you could exceed.
Right.
right, if you get the
Yep.
approval, correct.
Put your glass on it.
Put a stone wall,
Or you can just do it.
lattice stuff.
Okay, does that take care of all old business?
I think so.
Is there any public input? I don't See any, so we'll move on. Any other further discussions? Good, well then, I think we've discussed future meeting dates.
Yep.
All we need is a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
Well done. We'll make-
Bring you back and watch the Mets. Are there 4 tonight? Wow.
Let me stop the meeting.
I guess. I believe it should be. It looks like all.